We're not sure what the source of the virus is. It could come either from poultry or from wildlife. There's an outbreak actually all around Europe and Asia at the moment of the same subtype of avian flu influenza. So we're not sure. It was reported first in chickens by farmers. We actually are now getting near 1 million chicken and turkey that we had to kill in order to try and stop the outbreak, and we keep finding new spots of outbreak. And the situation in the Hula Valley is extremely troubling. Both because of the huge harm that was caused to wildlife. Over 5,000 cranes are already dead, and it's very, very difficult to control this outbreak in the cranes. We also have some pelicans that were already confirmed as being sick or dead by the same virus.
Could this be transmitted, Professor, to humans? Could people catch this? Could people get sick and die from this? Is that a possibility as we head into a new year?
It is. However, infection rates are extremely low. So we have to actually touch a sick or dead animal or its secretion, and then either breathe the material or touch your mouth or nose or eyes. There are only several hundreds of cases around the world during the last, I think, 2 decades of people that got infected with this specific subtype. But when people are being infected, the virus is very lethal, and some of the reports suggest around 60% lethality of the virus. The good thing is that the infection rate is very low, and also it doesn't infect, it's not transmitted between humans. But as we learned in the coronavirus, it could always mutate, or there's a special procedure of reassortment in this specific in avian flu, which could change this. And in case this happens, even though the chances of this happen are very, very low, it could become a new pandemic. And actually, the World Health Organization has and the UN warned that avian flu is highly suspected as the next pandemic after even before coronavirus.
Professor, I have a question, I guess a zoology-related question about the animals themselves. One thing that stands out just from the videos, that you see so many of these birds kind of standing over the corpses of dead birds. They are standing around. They're not leaving the area when infected. Why is that? Why don't they, I guess, try and get away or try to find cover? They're kind of just, you can clearly see they're ill and they're standing over dead carcasses. Yeah. Why is that?
So this is something that we've noticed and is really interesting, but we don't really know what it means. Normally in the Hula Valley, the cranes sleep inside the water, standing in the water, because it protects them better from predators. And during the day, they leave the water and feed on open grounds. What happened is that since the outbreak, we think that the sick cranes stay in the water also during the day. They don't go out and eat. We don't know why they do it, but we do know that they have some neurological symptoms. You can see it by their behavior and movement. But we hardly find any dead birds in dry areas. Most of the dead animals are in the water.
Huh.
This is really interesting, but we don't know the reason. However, the animals that have less symptoms are actually worrying us even more because they can fly to other places and start outbreaks in faraway places. So it could be within Israel, and these cranes are migrating, so they could even leave the country and either go south or north. And another interesting point is that these cranes that we have now in the Hula Valley are wintering in the Hula Valley. And this is a very small portion of the population. And we expect to have around 100,000 cranes arriving to the Hula Valley on March.
Yeah. Yeah, this disaster looming in the weeks ahead and still not contained. Professor, I appreciate your time. A very difficult story, an environmental disaster here that still needs to be solved and worked on. Appreciate your time. Great to have you on I-24 News.